venue. Sri Lanka won the toss. Ranatunga elected to bat, and an informed Mahanama and a determined Hathurusinga opening batting under very helpful conditions. We pick up play with Owens bowling to Roshan Mahanama. Stroked away through mid-on. A good stroke there. Long chase for Andrew Jones, but he won't get to it. The outfield a bit slow near the ropes, but the ball having sufficient power. So that's the first boundary in this test match. Sua to Hathurusinga. Balls outside the line of the off stump. Not a good stroke there from Hathurusinga. Mahanama strokes this one beautifully backward of point. That's 4. A glorious stroke to a over-pitch delivery from Michael Owens. And Mahanama in very good touch. Once again, a similar stroke past a diving Jones there at gully. 4 more to Mahanama. And that's his third boundary. And the score moving up to 31. So Mahanama in very good touch. Chris Pringle, one of 2 changes in the New Zealand team. And stroked away past the bowler. That's a good stroke there down the pitch. And a long chase, but the ball will just stop inside the boundary. But in fact, Sua making a mistake. So that's the 4th boundary for Mahanama. Owens into him once more. And clipped away through mid-wicket. That's one of his favourite strokes. That'll be 4. He timed and picked that gap up very well. The ball travelling very quickly. Pringle giving that ball well up to the right-hander's leg stump. And he moved inside the line and timed it so well. Absolutely no chance of cutting that one. Here's Grant Brandben, the next change in the New Zealand team. And that's 4. Through extra cover. 4 runs. He danced down to the delivery that time. One of 5 instances where father and son playing for New Zealand. The Sri Lankan 50 coming up in 55 minutes. An over-pitch delivery and 4 more. Full toss. Cracked through cover by Mahanama. And Bradburn giving a lot of air that time. Hathurusinga stroked it beautifully backward of square. Long chase there for Michael Owens. Picks it up inside the boundary. And a comfortable couple for Hathurusinga takes him on to 14. Pringle once more into him. Drops it short outside the off stump and played away beautifully on the offside. A long chase for Sua, maybe 4, but a brilliant save there from Murphy Sua just inside the boundary, and that will bring Hathurusinga 3 more runs. Pringle dropping it short outside the line of the off stump, and Hathurusinga loves to play that stroke. In fact, one of his favourite strokes, and beat the fielders, but a splendid effort there from Murphy Sua at the boundary. And he's one of the better fielders in the New Zealand team. Roshan Mahanama now on 32. Bradburn into him. Flights and stroked away on the onside past the bowler. 1 more to Roshan Mahanama. And that's his 50. So he's into the 50s for the 6th time in as many matches. And he's in very fine form since the 3rd test in Pakistan. Bradburn into him, and Mahanama just walks inside the line, strokes him on the onside. Long chase for Murphy Sua. He's been very active on the field. Gets a boot to it once more, and the batsman crossover for 3 runs. So the Sri Lankan openers doing their job under very helpful conditions. The pitch expected to take turn. Harris into the attack, bowls to Mahanama, and on the half volley through the covers. 4 more. That was a pretty loose delivery from Chris Harris, brought into the attack by the New Zealand captain, and that's the 2nd bowling change for them this morning. And Harris expected to take much of the bowling, but Mahanama in such good form. Up to him, balls and stroked away through mid-wicket. That'll be 4 more. Timed it well, and he's been playing that stroke so well, and New Zealand cannot afford to bowl and feed him right up there. And Mahanama in so delightful touch. That's his 10th boundary. The full toss. Stroked through cover. He picked that get up so well. A friendly full toss there from Chris Harris, and that's the 3rd consecutive boundary for Roshan Mahanama. So Hathurusinga now taking strike from Chris Pringle. Bowls to him and stroked away through cover. 4 runs. Good shot there. Timed it well. The half volley and hit very firmly indeed all along the ground. And that's the Sri Lankan total as Pringle comes in to Mahanama, who strokes it away backward to square once more. A long chase for Murphy Sua. He will get to it inside the boundary, and he's being pretty quick and having a lot of work. And the Sri Lankans having a good strike rate at this stage. Pringle up to Hatrusingha. Balls to him, backcuts firmly, and that will be another long chase for the fielder. And Sua picks up and returns 2 more to Hatrusingha. He moves up to 27. Lunch approaching on the first day. Owens into Hatrusingha. Balls full toss, driven firmly but straight to Harris at cover, and he takes a comfortable catch. And Hatrusingha departs, and a pretty loose delivery but stroked on the front foot straight to cover. And that ball outside the line of the off stump to Hatrusingha. He was full stretch and he miscued that stroke straight to Chris Harris, who accepted that catch, and that was the breakthrough New Zealand were really working for. And Owens delighted. Picks up his 3rd wicket in Test cricket, but in so much of a disappointing fashion for Chandika Hatrusingha. He batted throughout this morning, he worked very hard, but he was out hitting 3 boundaries. So that's the lunchtime score in 26 overs, and Murphy Sua with the first over after lunch. A loud appeal by Parore, but probably graced the thigh pad of Mahanama. Sua dropping it short outside the line, and yes it is, as he shaped to play it on the onside. The ball just grazing the thigh pad and through to the wicket keeper. Mahanama now on 72, having hit 12 boundaries. And that's his 13th one, through mid-wicket once more. Walking inside the line of that delivery, pitched up to him and then flicking it, roll over the stumps. A long chase there for Heartland, he won't get to it. That delivery did come back a long way, well bowled Owens. Sua into Mahanama, he committed the batsman to a very loose stroke that time. A good one, left the right-hander, coming in from the left-hander, bowling over the wicket and angling across the bat of Mahanama as he lunged forward. Good delivery and a very lucky save there for Rushan Mahanama. He was committed to the stroke, away from his body, the ball just left him. So Owens bowled well, up to Mahanama once more. And stroked away through mid-wicket. So many runs coming for Mahanama, and once more he was middling that ball very well. Heartland gets to it this time just inside the boundary, and the throw comes in to Parore well away from the wicket, and the total up to 114 for 1. Gurusingha at the non-striker's end as Mahanama strokes it once more, but beautifully fielded there by Brian Heartland, diving to his left. And Mahanama really working that one, the ball travelling very quickly, but a splendid effort from the New Zealander on that occasion. The crowd built up. It was a couple of hundred spectators at the start. Owens into Gurusingha, the new batsman, strokes away on the offside. He found the gap that time, could reach the boundary. Long chase there for Jones, he won't get to it. 4 more, and that's Gurusingha's first boundary, taking the total up to 127. So Gurusingha on 8. Owens into him, balls, and outside the line of the off stump. Bad stroke there from the Sri Lankan one drop. Nowhere near it, playing it away from the body and aiming for a very big swipe on the offside and very nearly edging it through to the wicket keeper. A section of the New Zealand supporters and a very few of them at the SSC. Grant Bradman into beat the left-hander and the wicket keeper. Rutherford after it. Should be at least 3 runs here, and a good delivery, and really deserved much better than that. Clearly beat Gurusingha as he was in 2 minds. He first wanted to go forward, then he wanted to play back almost from the crease, and Parore beaten. Owens into Mahanama and stroked away on the offside. Another glorious stroke, took it on the half volley, and he's seeing that ball so well, and that's boundary number 14 for Mahanama. Pringle into Mahanama, strokes it away through the Kali area. That will be his 100. Jones the fielder. Splendid innings there from Roshan Mahanama, coming with the aid of 14 boundaries, and he has batted so well. That's his figures. His century coming in 168 minutes of batting. Gurusingha facing up to Bradburn. Well flighted and off the back foot he punched that one. Long chase there for the fielder, but he won't get to it. 4 runs, back foot of point. So 2 fours to Gurusingha at this stage. Sri Lanka cruising along. Bradburn, and he's gone straight down the leg side, and Gurusingha nowhere near playing it. came inside the line and he was always in trouble as he came forward, as we see the action replay. He was in two minds and he lifted his back foot, and Parore in a flash, a good leg side stump there, and in comes Aravinda De Silva with Sri Lanka 2 down for 160. Pringle into him, bowls, he edges it and he's gone. Parore takes a simple catch and Pringle takes his first wicket on the Sri Lankan leg of the tour in test matches. A pretty loose stroke there from Aravinda De Silva, and he faced only 4 deliveries. So that's the second victim for the New Zealand wicketkeeper, as Pringle is delighted outside the line of the off stump, and pretty early there for Aravinda De Silva to play that stroke and off and edge. The ball flies to the wicketkeeper. So Sri Lanka losing their 3rd wicket with a total on 167. So Sri Lankan captain coming in on his home grounds and facing up to Grant Bradburn. Sweeps it, and not a particularly convincing stroke. Rutherford, the fielder, came inside the line and tried to play it. A bit of risk there, but he got away with that one. Pringle into him. Balls, and that one again down the leg side. Well collected by the New Zealand wicketkeeper. Pringle straying a little bit. Has 1 wicket. And off the pad there, an excellent save by Adam Parore. So Ranatunga expecting to play a responsible innings, and that's one of his favourite strokes. Excellently clipped through the mid-wicket field, 4 runs. No fielder there on the boundary. You cannot bowl up to the left-hander's foot, and both players playing on the onside so well. Bradburn into Ranatunga, pads it up. Umpire Samsingh not interested. The field now spread out and pretty overcast conditions. Mahanama stroking away, and beautifully taken there by Bradburn, diving forward, and that's the important wicket New Zealand were looking forward to. Inside the line, and Mahanama played it uppishly. He couldn't control that one, and at mid-wicket Bradburn diving forward, a splendid catch there from him. He really worked that one up and held on to it, diving forward, always eyes on the ball, and Owens picks up his 2nd wicket. So Mahanama, after a splendid knock, walks back, and the total is 182 for the loss of 4 wickets. Hashan Tilakaratne coming in, and 2 left-handers at the wickets, as Owens into Hashan Tilakaratne. Outside the line of the off stump, stroked away well. He got a hand to it, that one, Blair Hartland. The ball running down to the cover point boundary, and Murphy Sua into it, picks up and returns, and a couple to Hashan Tilakaratne takes him off the mark. Ranatunga drives on the onside, through mid-wicket, long chase there for John Wright. He won't get to it. 4 more, that's Ranatunga's 3rd boundary, and he timed it very well. Ranatunga showing very good touch. Against Australia, he scored 132 in the same ground, and Bradburn into him. Balls, and Ranatunga back cuts firmly. 4 more. That's a good stroke. Pick the gap up and hit it well. Straying down the offside, Sua, and Ranatunga straight into the drive. 4 more. That's his 4th boundary. Sua into him now. Bowls, and once more through the covers. 4 more. That's his 6th boundary, and he is really hitting that ball outside the line of the off stump and moving into that one. And the total 220. The 200 coming up in the 58th over. The next ball cut back once again. Grant Bradburn gives chase. Will he get to it? Yes, he does, and sends in a quick flat return, but the batsman safely through for 3. Pringle into Ranatunga, balls, and coming back into the left-hander, pads up. The New Zealander very optimistic, but the umpire not interested. Bradburn to the Sri Lankan captain, who strokes it away on the offside. 4 more, and he's really hitting that ball through the cover region very well. Foot to the pitch of that one, and overstepping. Coming up at a very crucial time, the 50 partnership. The next ball turned away by Ranatunga. Pringle once again straying down the leg side. Jones the fielder, and Hashan Tilakaratne and Arjuna Ranatunga, they are putting up a good partnership. Ranatunga's 17th half century in Test cricket. The next ball lofted over long on, could be a 6. No, it won't reach the boundary. First bounce in there. And for a moment I thought it was going to clear the long on fence. So Ranatunga has 8 boundaries now. And that ball coming back on Hashan Tilakaratne. Grant Bradburn very excited, but umpire Samarasinghe not interested. Ranatunga batting extremely well and hitting that ball very powerfully indeed. The responsibility on him, and he's lived up to it quite appreciably. Pringle into him, balls, and that was very close. A poor stroke from the Sri Lankan captain. Hashan Tilakaratne drives Grant Bradburn through the covers, wide off mid-off. That'll be his first boundary. Waited a long time to hit that one. Pringle bowls to Ranatunga, drives, well fielded by Hartland at cover. Bradburn into Hashan Tilakaratne. He really moved into that one, cracked it through cover point. Long chase there for the fielder, who gets to it just inside the boundary. Good bit of fielding there by Grant Bradburn, picks up and now returns to Adam Parore. Not very well, but the batsman threw for 3 runs. Tilakaratne really moved into that one and hit it well. Ranatunga it is, taking strike from Bradburn. Flighted and dancing down the track that time through the half volley. 4 runs. He really moved into that one and hit it quite well. Nguyen having taken 2 wickets as he did at Moratuwa, bowling exceptionally well. Into Ranatunga now. Bowls and he drives him firmly. And that's Pringle misfielding there at mid-off. And the batsman will take 2 and takes Ranatunga on to 76. Murphy Suwa was troubled throughout the afternoon, was off the field for 3/4 of an hour, but has come back with the second new ball. Ranatunga edges Suwa and through to wicketkeeper. He's gone. He didn't wait for the decision there. And that's the 5th wicket down with the total at 274. And Ranatunga faced 136 deliveries, hit 10 boundaries and batted for 182 minutes. Outside the line of the off stump, and the New Zealanders are lucky to see the back of the Sri Lankan captain out to a poor stroke there, playing away from the body and really not getting to the pitch of that one. So that's the 3rd victim there for Adam Parore behind the wickets for New Zealand. And Murphy Suwa takes his first wicket. Gamini Wickramasinghe, the Sri Lankan wicketkeeper, comes in. Made 13 not out at Moratuwa. And with 7 overs remaining at the scheduled closing time, Suwa into Hashan Tilakaratne, the balls, and he plays him well. Control that one through square leg. That'll be 4. Turning and then hitting it, controlling the stroke away from any of the fielders, and that's his 3rd boundary. So Tilakaratne on to 22. Suwa into him. Balls and he drives firmly through the covers, and that's another glorious stroke from the Sri Lankan left-hander. And having put on 92 runs with his captain, he's in good touch. Edge that one through to the first slip. Rutherford is delighted. Gamini Wickramasinghe departs, and that's the 6th wicket down with the total at 286. A poor stroke there from Gamini Wickramasinghe, coming onto the back foot, away from the line of the delivery and away from his body. And a pretty simple chance there for Ken Rutherford at first slip, and the fielder made absolutely no mistake. Both hands to it, saw it through to him and gobbled that one. And that's a poor stroke there, and Sri Lanka at this stage looking to be there as much as possible. Gamini Wickramasinghe disappointing. The new batsman in is Dulip Lianage. He could score a few runs. Owens into him. Has 3 wickets now. So good delivery in line with the stumps. So Hashan Tilakaratne and Dulip Lianage, once again 2 left-handers at the wickets. Owens, a pretty good delivery there for Lianage to receive as he came in. Has 3 wickets. Bowling well. Another good delivery, and that went right through him, and he beat the outside edge and the wicket. And a safe collection there from Adam Parore. The crowd really enjoying some very good cricket, and play extended well past scheduled time. And Hashan Tilakaratne drives this one backward of point. Andrew Jones, the fielder, and he sends in a very good return to Adam Parore. Play extended for 45 minutes to complete the over, the first time a full day's play in this series, and 112 runs coming in the last session of 37 overs. Mahanama and Ranatunga leading the way, but Aravinda De Silva a failure. Owens bowled best, claiming 3 wickets, and the innings built around a New Zealand record for Sri Lanka of 100 runs for the first wicket and 92 for the 5th wicket. Good night. Welcome to highlights, and Sri Lanka recovering after some very hesitant middle order batting with Tilakaratne on 43 batting extremely well, and Lienage giving him very good support. Of course, the batting held up by Mahanama and Ranatunga yesterday. That's a very good delivery from Owens to start with at Lienage. Gained height just outside the left-hander's off stump, and Lienage drawing away from the line, in difficulty getting away from it. And here's Sua. Goes to Tilakaratne, and he drives firmly off the front foot through cover. That's a good stroke to start the day for Tilakaratne, and that brings him his 4th boundary. There was a long chase there for Brian Hartran, but he won't make it. So Tilakaratne on to 47. Sua into him. Bowls, and that ball away from the left-hander. Was fishing for that one. Sua pitching it well away from the line of the off stump, and Tilakaratne really not behind the line of that delivery, playing it away from him. Lucky not to have got a touch. Lienage taking strike from Murphy Sua. Up to him, bowls a good delivery outside the off stump, committed the batsman to the stroke, and once again beating the batsman, but not finding the edge through to Parore. Sri Lanka looking for a consolidation from this pair. Excellent batting conditions at the SSC. The next ball, he edges it, and it's through to Parore. Umpire Samarasinghe has no hesitation. Sri Lanka lose their 7th wicket with a total at 316, and that particular delivery just outside the off stump and looking for the big drive. Lienage edges it through to the wicket keeper, and a 7th wicket partnership that realized 30 runs coming to an end, and 40 minutes at the wicket for Lienage. The new batsman in is Don Anurusari, playing in his 13th test match. Big responsibility for him, but Owens into Tilakaratne, drives through the covers. That's a good looking stroke from Tilakaratne. He timed it well, should reach the boundary, but there's a long chase there for Hartland, but he won't get to it. And that's Tilakaratne's half century, his 3rd in test cricket, and coming at a very crucial time with 5 boundaries. The next ball short and beautifully back at by Tilakaratne over Pringle delivery, well collected there by Owens, and sends in a good return. Sua into Don Anurusari, the field coming in. Bowls and a good delivery, and a loud appeal there as Jones collects at Silamidov, standing back, but umpire Samarasinghe not interested. That delivery almost on the block hole, and probably Anurusari hit it to the ground. Of course, Jones diving forward, he collected it. The ball may have hit the ground before it went there. Good decision. And here's the New Zealand captain, very concerned. Owens into Don Anurusari. Up to the wicket, balls, and got away from the line of that one, but not very effectively though. He held his bat under that delivery as it gained height, but in the end Owens getting the major honours as he bent his back on that occasion. The partnership looking good as Anurusari struggles and survives. Tilakaratne drives Owens through the covers. That's a good stroke there, timed it well, good shot, and that should bring him another long boundary, but Hartland on that occasion gaining ground as the ball was hit to the longest part at the SSC, batsman completing 3. So Tilakaratne in great touch. He's on 57 now. Owens into him. Bowls, and again shot outside the off stump. He cut it well. 4 runs, backward of point. And that is the stroke Tilakaratne plays very well when he's in very good touch. And he is in good touch now. Shot outside the off stump. Ideal height, and a diving Jones at gully won't reach it. That was struck well. The ball speeding through onto the boundary on that occasion. So Sri Lanka prospering And Tilakaratne with his 7th boundary has moved up to 71. Bradburn to Tilakaratne, given a lot of air and driven beautifully through mid-off all along the ground, and Tilakaratne is very good touch now, and that brings it his 8th boundary. That next delivery coming back to Anusari off Pringle, that came a long way, kept low, and very lucky not to have hit the stumps, and clearly beaten all ends up Don Anusari. Well bowled Pringle. Richard deserves much more figures than that, as he is into Tilakaratne once more. Ball to him, turned away on the onside. At mid-wicket is Bradburn. He picks up and returns, but Tilakaratne is back. Good call there from Don Anusari. And 350 of the innings coming in 111 overs or 485 minutes of batting. The ball turned away by Tilakaratne, but he didn't see the danger, as Bradburn moved in very quickly to mid-wicket from square leg, sent in a good return to Parore, but Tilakaratne well sent back in on time. The next ball over-pitched, driven firmly on the offside, well fielded by Harris there at cover. Pringle once more turns, and this one very well turned away to fine leg. Should be 4. Yes, it is. Long chase there for Owens. Didn't get to that one, so that's the 8th boundary there for Tilakaratne. The partnership looking very threatening indeed. Bradburn into Anusari, plays forward defensive, offering his front pad. A loud appeal there, but umpire Soundsinger not interested. The ball in line with the middle and leg stumps, probably missing leg as it turns slightly away from the right-hander. Next ball flighted, and Anusari drives firmly. That was a very loose delivery indeed, going down to the cover boundary and just stops inside it as the batsman completes 3 runs, and a long chase there for John Wright. And that was the total, 361 for 7, and Anusari now it is on strike. Murphy Sua into him. Ball full toss, wayward delivery, and probably missed at gully there. Sua a full toss well outside the line of the off stump. Anusari playing it away from his body. It flew to gully, and a splendid effort, but in vain by Andrew Jones. Bradburn into Don Anusari. Balls, and he lofts that one. He really came down the track on that occasion. Didn't quite hit it. Owens the fielder at mid-on. 2 more runs to Anusari takes him up to double figures. Bradburn into Tilakaratne, and he swings him beautifully wide over mid-on, going down to the boundary. No stopping that one, and that's 4. So Tilakaratne in very good touch, and a pretty loose delivery there from Grant Bradburn. Umpire Samarasinghe kept quite busy. Tilakaratne very sensible batting indeed, and this is a new Sri Lanka record against New Zealand for the 8th wicket. So well played, Tilakaratne and Anusari. Sua into Anusari, and he drives firmly off the half volley on the offside. The ball running down to the boundary, no stopping that one. 4 runs, the 2nd boundary there for Don Anusari, opening up now, gaining in confidence. And Harris to Anusari, full toss once again, well fielded there by Murphy Sua, very athletic indeed, and he's been one of the better fielders for New Zealand. Harris bowled just 1 over yesterday, gave away 12 runs, and once again another loose delivery outside the off stump to Anusari on that occasion. Didn't really get hold of that one, as Sua fielded excellently. Bradburn into Anusari, offers his pad once again, no danger there. And here's Tilakaratne, his top score in Test cricket now. The next delivery, he cuts and he's gone, taken by Parore. That's his 5th wicket, and the first time he has done so in Test cricket. And Bradburn picks up his 2nd wicket, and that was very unfortunate indeed for Tilakaratne. That ball away from the left-hander's off stump, really went after it, and he was out batting for 332 minutes and hitting 8 boundaries. He really kept that innings together, and a very enthusiastic crowd sees Muthaiya Muralidharan, the only change in the Sri Lankan side from the first test, coming in to face Bradburn. Pretty confident start there for Muralidharan as he comes forward and drives. Right the fielder, no run. So Sri Lanka having consolidated, and Owens into unnecessary balls. And he lofts him straight to the fielder there. No mistake that time from Sua. And that's the 9th Sri Lankan wicket down, and a top score of 24 there for Don Arnusari. He has played in 13 test matches and made his highest score in test cricket, 24 runs including 2 boundaries, and he batted for 134 minutes, and what a way to go. And last man in for Sri Lanka is Jananda Varnavira. Owens into him, bowls, and he drives firmly on the offside. Not a very convincing stroke, but he's off the mark. That's important. Grant Bradburn now bowling to Jayananda Varnavira. Bowls, and he lofts him. That's in the air. Maybe runs for him at mid-wicket. And he collects 2 runs. He moves up to 3. Total on to 393 now. Next ball, he drives, and he's gone, taken by Martin Crowe. That's his first catch in test cricket in Sri Lanka on this tour. Not to the pitch of that ball. He really came down the track and played uppishly. He's looking to clear the top, but played instead straight to Martin Crowe at cover. Held on to a very good catch. He must be quite pleased with himself. And that's the end of the Sri Lankan innings, with the total at 394, and very economical 13 extras by the New Zealanders. 631 minutes of batting of 129 overs, and all out 45 minutes after lunch on the second day. And Owens bowled extremely well, his best test figures of 4 for 101, and well supported by Bradburn taking 3 for 134, also his best. And the Sri Lankan innings really built around Hashan Tilakaratne in the latter half, as Sri Lanka come out with New Zealand having to bat 65 minutes approximately for tea, and Sri Lanka will be looking for a quick breakthrough. Hartland and Wright, the New Zealand openers. Tulip Lianage opening the attack for Sri Lanka. Wayward delivery. Sri Lanka would do well to bowl well at the New Zealand batsmen to make them play. A good delivery that almost had him clean bowled. And New Zealand well on its way. Lianage into the ball wrapped on the pad, allowed appeal, but umpire Anandappa not interested. Lianage bowled that one in line with the stumps, probably missing leg stump, and Gurusingha opening the attack. Bowls to Wright, and he placed that stroke very well indeed. Backward of 0.4 runs. So that's the first boundary for Wright and New Zealand. And Gurusingha has now opened batting for Sri Lanka, kept wickets, and finally opened bowling. And he may have very little other test players having done all those for their countries. Lianage the fielder. As we see the action replay, Gurusingha digging that one in, and Hartland not right behind it. No danger in being bowled, but not a very convincing stroke. Gurusingha into Wright, drops it short outside his off stump, and beautifully played through cover point. Muralidharan gives chase. Will he get to it? No, he won't, and that's Wright's second boundary. And he played that one very well indeed. Wright batting with a lot of confidence in the total 22. Hartland giving Wright very good support. Mahanama, top scorer in the slips. Don Arnusari into the attack, and the next ball driven on the onside. A long chase there for Chandika Hatrusingha at mid-on. Could reach the boundary, 4 runs. That's Hartland's first boundary of the New Zealand innings. Here's Chandika Hatrusingha into the attack. Bowls to John Wright, and that's through Gurusingha. That was not very good cricket. Down to the third man boundary for 4, but Gurusingha should have taken that one. Off an edge from Wright, who didn't get right to the pitch of that one and the line. And the ball ballooning away from Gurusingha's hands. Hatrusingha into Wright once more. Plays defensively, allowed appeal, but umpire not interested. Ball in line with the stumps. Wright well forward. Jananda Varnavira. He could be the danger. Bowls to John Wright. And that ball is left to the batsman, and he's adjudged out. So that's the first wicket down with New Zealand on 57. John Wright, the batsman, out. He was trying to take his bat away from the line of that delivery as it turned sharply away from him outside the off stump. Umpire Samar had a good look and considered that appeal very well, and that's John Wright on his way. He was out for 29, and the new batsman in is Andrew Jones. Varnavira into Hartland, and Gurusingha takes a brilliant catch. He didn't wait for the umpire's decision. Well taken there. So New Zealand lose their second wicket with a total at 60 in the 24th over. and Heartland batting for 118 minutes hit 1 boundary. Varnavira giving that ball a lot of air on that occasion, and the ball going to Gurusingha on the second attempt. Safe hands on that occasion from the Sri Lankan closing fielder. And Heartland did not wait for the umpire's decision. So that's a good breakthrough there, and Sri Lanka striking and striking well after tea. New Zealand were 42 without loss at tea, but this is very good cricket. And both wickets to Jananda Varnavira. Some sustained bowling from him as the New Zealand captain, not in very good form, comes into the middle. Muralidharan bowls to Martin Crowe. Balls pressed a long time. He bowled that one right through Martin Crowe. He couldn't believe that one, and out with the total at 63 for no score of the second delivery, and that's the bowler's second over. And Muralidharan is excited. You couldn't have asked for a better wicket on this test match for Muralidharan, bowling only his second over. Played the wrong line. The ball turned so much, and if he could turn that much on the second day, it could spell danger. The new batsman in is Ken Rutherford, and New Zealand in a spot of bother. Rutherford, the informed batsman, and Varnavira up to him. Balls, awkward delivery there, could be out, caught, yes, he's gone. Tilakaratne takes a brilliant catch there at forward short leg. One-handed, and Rutherford departs. That's the second New Zealand batsman out without scoring. 64 for 4 in the 28th over. And Varnavira striking quite well. Got that one to nib off the wicket very hard. It gained height, and Rutherford in a lot of difficulty, and Hashan Tilakaratne holding on to a brilliant catch there. He dived full length, was anticipating, and very good reflexes indeed. The ball ballooning, both hands to it, but an excellent catch in front of Aravinda De Silva. So New Zealand in trouble, 64 for 4. And Rutherford himself was in a lot of difficulty there. The ball awkward bounce in front of him, and the new batsman is Chris Harris. He's been one of the New Zealanders in good touch. Bats up to Varnavira. Loud appeal from the bowler, and umpire not interested. Muralidharan bowls to Jones. He swings him past Tilakaratne, and Lienage, the fielder, sends in a good return. So Jones, the last of the recognised batsmen of New Zealand, having a lot of work to do. Harris edges it backward of point. Lienage once again the fielder. He's off the mark. New Zealand still not out of danger, and this could be a very good tussle in this test match from here onwards, with the spinners taking over. The wicket expected to turn. Sri Lanka is doing extremely well. This is the 42nd over. The ball running down to backward to square. Muralidharan is there. He comes in very quickly, picks up and returns. Harris coming for the second. The wicket is broken, and he's given out. Run out there by umpire Anandappa, and that's the 5th New Zealander out with the total at 88. And New Zealand in deep trouble. Harris batted for 56 minutes, and he was run out for 9. Excellent cricket there by the Sri Lankans on that occasion. That ball running backward to square, and Muralidharan came in very quickly. He covered a good 15 to 20 meters. He was in and picked up that ball like a flash, sent it a good flat hard return to Gamini Wickramasinghe, and he had the bails off in a flash, and the batsman reaching desperately, and umpire not hesitating to give him up. The new batsman in is Parore, the wicketkeeper. And that ball turned and turned as it gained height. And Muralidharan really a very good turner indeed. The next ball very loose with Sri Lanka attacking. There's no fielder there. A good stroke there from Parore. Down to square leg for 4 runs. So he's off the mark. And that could be very good runs there for New Zealand. Varnavira bowls to Jones. Plays it away very sedately back to the square. Long chase there for Lienage. Picks up and returns, but 2 runs to Andrew Jones. So he's up to 20. The next ball played uppishly. He's gone. Beautifully taken once again by Tilakaratne at forward short leg. He was not to the pitch of that one, and he batted for 98 minutes and did not hit any boundary, and out in the 12th over of Jananda Varnavira. He was not to the pitch of that one. He was always in 2 minds playing it. And look at Tilakaratne. Excellent reflexes from him there at forward short leg. First he moved in the wrong direction, then diving full length. A superb left-handed catch there from him. And that's the 4th wicket there for Jananda Varnavera, and that's his test best figures. Excellent effort from the Sri Lankan bowler there on that occasion, helped by some marvellous Sri Lankan close catching. The new batsman in is Grant Bradburn. New Zealand in deep trouble. 97 for 6 in the 45th over. Didn't know much about that one. So the Sri Lankan bowlers really getting this ball to turn, and Varnavera a sustained spell and splendid figures. Really worked hard, very economical and a good strike rate. Muralidharan into Parore balls, and Tilakaratne now diving at almost anything within his reach. That's his inspiration. Muralidharan up to Parore once more. Cut back a long way, and he's given out. LBW, the 7th New Zealand wicket down there with the total at 99, and he was there at the wickets for 22 minutes and scored 6 runs. And Muralidharan carrying his second wicket in the 11th over. That ball came a long way from well outside off stump, and he has the ability to turn almost at right angles, Mutaya Muralidharan, and that's the second wicket. Almost a similar delivery as Martin Crowe got, only on this occasion Parore decided to play back. And as you could see, the ball coming a long way, Parore clearly beaten. He was nowhere near connecting that ball with the bat. So the new batsman in is Murphy Sua, as New Zealand in deep trouble now. New Zealand in deep trouble now. Muralidharan up to him, balls, offers his bat, and that would be the New Zealanders' strategy. Still to score 100 runs in this innings. Muralidharan up to Murphy Sua, balls, and he sweeps, and that's his first run and the 100th run of the New Zealand innings, coming in the 40th over of 213 minutes of batting for the loss of 7 wickets. So New Zealand really struggling on the second day. Money's worth for those spectators there, very few of them, and as play comes to an end 35 minutes after the schedule close, New Zealand in deep trouble there. The middle order really failing, and the top order not hitting top gear, and some splendid bowling there by the Sri Lankans holding the innings. 14 extras in 100 runs, and New Zealand considered only 13 in a total that was almost 4 times more than what it is now. Varnavera was the chief offender, but his strike rate was so well, together with Muralidharan, the others not impressing too much, and New Zealand losing their 7 wickets for the addition of 42 runs after a splendid start from Wright and Hartland. Splendid fielding also helped Sri Lanka get the advantage, and it promises to be another good day, and hope you enjoyed. Good night from me. Welcome to highlights. There's another bright and sunny morning. 1 run added to the New Zealand total, so they resume at 101 for 7. Bradburn and Sua, the overnight batsmen, Sri Lanka having played themselves into a very strong position with some very purposeful bowling and equally good fielding. We pick up play in the first over. Bradburn is facing up to Tulip Lianage. Good delivery. A very good first delivery from Lianage. Well taken there at Tilakaratne at short leg. A brilliant catch. It was very firmly hit. And that's the 8th New Zealand wicket falling with the total at 101. No addition to the total. That was only the second delivery of the morning. On the leg stump, Bradburn went for the flick. Hit it very hard, but straight to Tilakaratne. That's his third catch, and he's enjoying a very good match indeed. The second highest scorer in the Sri Lankan innings, and he is delighted. The new batsman in is Chris Pringle. Bowled him. That's a beautiful delivery for Lianage, his 4th for the morning. And Chris Pringle is beaten. Sheer pace, a very bad stroke indeed. And Losing the 9th wicket, New Zealand are now 101 for 9. So 2 wickets in the first over. And the last man in is Michael Owens. Lienige beats Sua once again. He bowled well this morning. A very confident appeal, but the umpire is not interested. That was a close decision, nevertheless. Muralidharan to Owens. Played uppishly, but finds unnecessary at mid-on, so New Zealand all out. And that is their lowest total against Sri Lanka. With the run added, 102 all out in 11 test matches. And losing their last 3 wickets in just 4 overs in 50 minutes of batting. In fact, their innings was over in 42 overs, and Varnavira and Muralidharan together with Lienige, excellent figures. The first 2, their best ever performances. 4 Sri Lankans and 3 New Zealanders had career best performances yesterday. 292 runs behind on the first innings. Made to follow on, Heartland faces up to Lienige. The wicket slowing down a bit. Boch Tilakaratne. He is really enjoying a marvellous match here at the SSC. Once again, very quick reflexes. He found Heartland coming out after playing that stroke. Good stroke there, timed it well. On the onside. Varnavira after it. But that's the first boundary for Heartland. New Zealand expected to put up a much more polished performance if they are to be in this game. Gurusingha to Heartland. The spinners expected to take over during the afternoon. Right, very nearly bowled on that occasion. A good delivery from Asanka Gurusingha, almost on the block hole, just outside the off stump. And John Wright very clearly beaten on that occasion. Edged it past third slip. So that's the second boundary for Heartland. There's no third man. Heartland was really fishing for that one. Pitched outside his off stump and moving further away. So the New Zealand batsmen looking for some runs. They don't want to be tied down by the Sri Lankan bowlers. Gurusingha around the wicket, straying down the leg side, very well turned away. Wide of fine leg, in fact turned very fine, and that's 4. So that's the third boundary for Heartland. Gurusingha into him, pulled it away, but straight to Muralidharan at square leg. So he takes the catch, and that's the first wicket down in the New Zealand second innings, with the total on 23. Heartland out for 21. Batted for 38 minutes and hit 3 boundaries. Short, he hit it, couldn't control it. It was in the air, and a very well judged catch from Muthaiya Muralidharan. So Sri Lanka getting the breakthrough, and quite a good one at that. The new batsman in is Andrew Jones. Here's Varnavira, the top wicket taker in the first innings. Gurusingha to Jones. Played it well, wide of Arjuna Ranatunga down to third man. No stopping that one, so that's the first boundary for Andrew Jones. That ball came in, but Wright picked the line very well. Gurusingha, a reasonably good job with the new ball. And moved that one in, so some consolation for him. In the air, and Tilakaratne is there. He's gone. That's the second wicket down, and what a good one at that. New Zealand 2 wickets down for 30. Jones was at the wicket for just 15 minutes. And that's the fourth catch in the match for Hashan Tilakaratne, and he is delighted. So the New Zealand captain coming in, a much polished performance expected of him. He is yet to impress, but a marvellous record for him. Takes strike from Varnavila. A very confident start, risk run, and that's 5 runs. So he starts off in great style, maybe an indication of things to come. Right, very watchful, and Muralidharan getting the ball to turn, but a slow turn that time. Right, having a long reach, the ball dropping in front of Mahanama at first slip. So, good signs here. Muralidharan not afraid to give that ball a lot of air. And Crow just swings him. He timed it very well. And that's a good stroke from Martin Crow. And that's 6. A pretty confident stroke there from the New Zealand captain. The ball came back on him. And could do well to use his feet to the spinners. Varnavira into Crow. Played that one very well. A long chase there for Muralidharan. He won't get to it. And a good shot from Martin Crow. Once again, he picked that up very well, moving inside the line. Wait for the umpire. That was 4. So finally, Martin Crow playing some glorious strokes. And the outfield quite dry. And that one, he really launched himself into that. Very well struck. His 5th boundary. Gursing the fielder. And Martin Crow is not impressed. We see the action replay. Gurusinha is the fielder. And he thinks that the ball bounced in front of Gurusinha. Steadfastly not moving, staying his ground. The umpire is conferring. Initially, umpire Anandappa gave him out. And subsequently, he consulted the leg umpire, who ruled that the ball did hit the ground before Gurusinha took it. So that's another good stroke there from the New Zealand captain. And drama here at the SSC. Crow on the attack. Another good stroke there. So he'll be hitting plenty of those strokes, and the ball very quickly into the boundary. And his 50 coming up in only 66 minutes of batting. The first big score he made on this tour. Excellent support there from John Wright. He's batted for a long time. New Zealand went in for lunch at 75 for 2 in 21 overs. The partnership now really prospering. Made room that time and struck it well through cover. So Crow is playing his strokes and not afraid to get to the pitch of that ball. Delightful stroke play. And gives Sri Lankan bowlers a lot of worries here at the moment. Gamini Wickramasinghe thought Crow got a touch. And the Sri Lankans have been appealing quite vehemently, and understandably Crow is very amused. That was another glorious stroke. He got right to the pitch of that one and not afraid to hit that ball whenever it's there to be hit. And that's his 3rd 6. So unnecessary into Crow now. And once again launching himself. A long hit there. 6 more. That's his 4th stroke over the boundary. So the New Zealand captain well on its way. And now John Wright also gets into the act. Very nearly caught on that occasion. Came out of his crease to a ball that was pitched up to him. Didn't quite hit it. Was in the air for a long time. Muralidharan giving a very big try. He should have held on to that one nevertheless. Arnusari dropping short and very well played through cover by Crow on the back foot. Aravind De Silva, the fielder, he did well to stop that ball from rolling over. 3 runs to Martin Crow. The crowd treated to some excellent batting, and the 100 up in 124 minutes, the 150 in 169 minutes. The partnership really looking threatening. Aravind De Silva, once again a big attempt, and Crow really enjoying this. That was his century, coming up in 143 minutes of batting, including 10 boundaries and 4 sixes and a 5. Once again stroked away on the offside, and Martin Crow in great style. Tea approaching on the 3rd day. This is the last over. Muralidharan to Martin Crow, did not get hold of that one. Hashan Tilakaratne takes the catch, and that's the 3rd wicket down with a total on 189. And John Wright not out on 49 at the non-striker's end, batted for 210 minutes, but the important wicket of Martin Crow on that occasion. He didn't quite get to the pitch of that one, and first Tilakaratne took evasive action, but eyes always on the ball. It was ballooning in the air, and finally the simplest of catches for the Sri Lankan, who has had most of the catching in that area. So that was the tea time total, and New Zealand in a dangerous position at this stage as the new batsman Rutherford comes in together with John Wright. Wright on 49, batted for a long time. Varnavira into him. Muralidharan the fielder, he won't get to it. Upish stroke there, wide of gully. Rutherford steers Varnavira. Anusari gives chase. And John Wright, having completed a fine half-century, batted for 214 minutes now. Obviously, and Mahanama takes a good catch. That was excellent reflexes. Wright lost concentration momentarily, hit 5 boundaries and batted for 225 minutes. 196 to 4 the total. Muralidharan in his 15th over. That was a good strike there. Wright was looking dangerous. He had batted for a long time. And a full stretch catch from Roshan Mahanama brings in Chris Harris to the wicket. So Tilakaratne really going after everything. Probably off the pad, but Tilakaratne lunging at it. Couldn't really hold on to that one. Rutherford launching himself. So the New Zealanders have decided to go after the bowling whenever it's pitched up, and the crowd being treated to some excellent batsmanship. Once again, Rutherford coming forward, driving. So he is showing why he is such an accomplished batsman. He is one of the informed batsmen for New Zealand. The 200 up in 242 minutes of batting in the 57th over. Muralidharan to Rutherford. Oh, he drove it well, but excellently fielded there by Aravind De Silva at mid-off. So the Sri Lankans supporting the bowlers very well on the field. And that's very good cricket. Playing themselves into a very strong position. New Zealand still to avert the follow-on. 292 runs behind on the first innings. Muralidharan to Harris. Swept it well, and he middled it very well indeed. Backward of square, 4 runs. Jananda Varnavira, the two of them has been bowling very well into Rutherford. Officially taken there by Sanath Jayasuriya, substituting at the backward short leg. That was a good catch. And Rutherford batted for 57 minutes, hit 1 6 and 3 boundaries. 240 for 5 in the 65th over. A very comfortable catch in the end for Sanath Jayasuriya. Adam Parore, the new batsman, in. So Anurusiri, not much success for him in this match. Lienige to Parore. There's no fielder at third man, so that's the 250 up for New Zealand in the 68th over of 292 minutes of batting. Grant Bradburn did not impress with the bat on the first innings. So New Zealand playing for the close of play. With just 4 wickets standing in the second innings, Sri Lanka will be looking to polish off the New Zealand tail for the second time. Parore stroking Muralidharan on the offside on that occasion. The wicket not having too many dangers, it has slowed down considerably. Except for Martin Crowe and John Wright, none of the others really did not impress. That stumps on the third day. Still 15 runs needed to make Sri Lanka bat again, and some splendid bowling and some very enthusiastic fielding, bringing New Zealand a lot of problems except for Martin Crowe. He and John Wright really played some marvellous cricket in the afternoon session, which brought on 114 runs in 28 overs. But once again, Lienige not impressing, but Varnavira and Muralidharan doing the damage, with Gurusingha and Anurusiri supporting. Martin Crowe, he and John Wright really played some marvellous cricket in the afternoon session, which brought on 114 runs in 28 overs. But once again, Lienige not impressing, but Varnavira and Muralidharan doing the damage, with Gurusingha and Anurusiri supporting them. But a splendid 159-run partnership for the third wicket between Crowe and Wright, really putting New Zealand on the right track, but they faltered thereafter in the face of some excellent catching, especially close to the wicket. So Sri Lanka will be looking to end this match pretty quickly. Hope you enjoyed, and join us tomorrow for more action. Neatly turned off with the single. Ranatunga cannot prevent it, and that's Adam Parore, a splendid knock from him. The half century, his maiden half century coming in the 5th test match. Gurusingha into Parore, edges it, and Mahanama it is, dropping it at second slip. So Parore survives just after his half century. Could have been a second wicket for Gurusingha. A good attempt, but should have really held on to that one. And at lunch, New Zealand 351 for 9 in 113 overs, 74 runs added in 29 overs in the first session. Gurusingha into Parore. Didn't know much about that one. The ball coming back slightly into the right hander. Oh, that was a nice stroke there through cover. He timed that one well. One of the better fielders, Muralidharan, couldn't get to that one. Over pitched, and Parore has shown what a good driver of the ball he is. Turned away, and Tilakaratne is there. He's taken that catch. That's the 4th wicket for Muralidharan, and New Zealand are all out with a total at 361, 493 minutes of batting and 119 overs. Parore having hit 60 runs, batted for 224 minutes and hit 6 boundaries. Tilakaratne taking his 7th catch of the match, and what a splendid performance it has been. So 69 runs on, and Sri Lanka needing just 70 runs for victory. Tilakaratne joins a select band of 2 cricketers, Greg Chappell of Australia and Jajwendra Singh of India, who have taken 7 catches in a test match. And there is this total. A good resolute batting performance from Parode, bringing up the third half century of the New Zealand second innings, and Pringle giving him very good support this morning. So are the only batsman failing to score in the New Zealand second innings, but Muralidharan bowled exceptionally well. His best ever test figures, 4 for 134, well supported by Varnavira and Anurusari with 2 wickets each. The umpires walking out to the middle, and a big crowd, a lot of people gathered here as Mahanama and Hathurusingha both must be very confident opening the Sri Lankan innings. 70 runs needed. Or neatly turned away of Owens, that will be 4. So Mahanama off to a very good start. ...85 minutes of batting before tea for Sri Lanka. Turned away once again, this time through slip and gully. 4 more. So boundaries in successive balls in the first over for Mahanama. Pringle to Hathurusingha, his favourite stroke there, and he's off the mark with a boundary. Owens to Mahanama. Pretty good delivery there from Owens on that particular occasion. And equally well played by Mahanama. Bradburn was there. Martin Coe was not on the field when New Zealand came out. Jones leading them instead. Dion Nash substituting for Martin Coe. Once again, well struck by Mahanama. He's batting absolutely brilliantly, using very good touch. 2 consecutive centuries of this New Zealand attack, and that's Harris at slip. Mahanama turns to the first bowling change, one of his favourite strokes. May not run to the boundary. Substitute Justin Vaughan doing the fielding. So Sri Lanka well on its way to record the 3rd test victory in 42 test matches. Owens into Mahanama. Oh, he turned it well, and he timed it too. Wide of Sua, no stopping that one back to the square. And that's Mahanama's 4th boundary. Oh, he's gone, and Parore takes the 6th victim of the match, and the 5th wicket for Michael Owens of the match. Batted for just 35 minutes Mahanama and scored 29 runs. Sri Lanka 36 for 1 in the 7th over. The new batsman in is Asanka Gurusingha. Hathurusingha made his test debut against New Zealand last year. Sua into him. No ball, and very well struck through the covers. Hathurusingha also making very good use of some much needed batting practice. And Gurusingha plays that one very well back to the point. That's his first boundary. Approaching a historic first win against New Zealand. There it's achieved, and it's all over with around 20 minutes remaining for tea, and the game finally won by Sri Lanka, which is